growing up when you have your parents and you think that they are doing the right thing, and then you kind of like start to question their choices, and then you become a parent and it kind of changes a lot of things. So, they say that you kind of gain an understanding of your parents once you have kids, and I gained an understanding of why my dad got high when he took me to The Lion King when I was 10. People also say that parenting doesn't come with a handbook, which if it did, it would probably tell you that hanging a sheet on a string in the living room won't hide the fact that you're smoking weed. People also say that when your kid gets hurt, you shouldn't react, because then they will. So when my sister fell out of a moving car and my dad picked her up and put her in without saying anything, he was probably doing the right thing. Or maybe he was just high. Parenting isn't easy, which explains why marijuana is legal now and why the apple fell from the tree right into the dispensary. You may think I'm the pot calling the kettle black, but I never told my daughter to face the front door when I sold her uncle drugs. I did get revenge on my dad for all the childhood trauma that I experienced from him smoking weed all the time. And it happened to be the first time we got high together. My dad says to me, "Do you ever think about our existence and the evil in this world?" "What? What are you talking about, Dad?" "The devil." What the fuck, Dad? I thought this was gonna be fun. I got high to relax and eat munchies, not talk about the fucking devil. Where is my husband with the pizza? I need to get out of this situation. So I put the phone up to my ear and I pretended like somebody called me, because my dad's super nosy and he always thinks it's my sister. I was like, "Hello," my dad was like, "Who is it?" I said, "It's the devil." But just to clarify, my dad is an awesome guy. He was a good dad, even though he took me to a Disney movie high, and he drove us around while he was high, and he took us to drug deals. There's plenty of Disney movies that I'd want to see when I was high, and half the people here have been driven around by a drunk adult, right? Somebody clap, thanks. The other half are the drunk adults, so you guys can all clap now. And my uncle was paralyzed from the waist down. My dad was just being a good brother-in-law, bringing him drugs, come on. So that was pretty much that was a lot of my childhood right there, is my dad smoking a lot of weed and taking care of us. But for real though, maybe if Scar and Mufasa were smoking weed together, things would have turned out differently. "Scar, brother, put up that sheet and pass me that joint." But seriously though, my dad and I are really close. He lives in my spare bedroom now. So yeah, I'm 40 years old. Been married for 15 years, and my dad lives in my spare bedroom. My husband and I have a 5-year-old daughter. No, she wasn't a mistake. We didn't have trouble conceiving. Not that that's your fucking business, but people think that it is. And my dad lives upstairs in our spare bedroom. Not only that, but our 5-year-old daughter sleeps in our bed. So I'm just gonna let that sink in for a little while. Think about that. Every guy here is thinking, when and where did they have sex? No, they're not, because guys don't think. Women are thinking about when and where they can have sex, because they're the planners of the relationship, and they even plan out when they're gonna have sex. Because if I wake up in the morning and I don't plan it into my day, it's probably not going to happen. Because next thing you know, I'm high, it's 9 o'clock, I've eaten a daily caloric intake of munchies in one sitting. My husband will be like, "Do you want to have sex?" I'll be like, "I'm fucking disgusting. No, I don't want to have sex." So when and where do we have sex? Between 8 and 10 in our living room. We've tried in the shower, but let's be real. There's only one position to have sex in the shower when you're 40 years old, and that's doggy style. We've tried, with my husband pressing me up against the wall with my legs wrapped around him, but that's a young man game, son. That ain't happening. So next thing you know, my forehead's pressed up against the wall, getting repeatedly knocked into it. Not so hard, sorry. My arms are falling asleep from holding myself up. And I just can't help but think about how fucking dirty my shower is, and I can't believe I give my daughter a bath in this shithole. There was one time where my daughter's baby shark toy malfunctioned while we were banging in the shower. All of a sudden we just heard, baby shark, do 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 do. We were like, thought it was our daughter. We thought she woke up and she couldn't find us, and so she was crying. So we're like, God. So that kind of takes you out of the moment, doesn't it? So, then you got to start all over again. Let's be real, there's really not that many positions to have sex in the living room either when you're 40. I mean, we're not going to get down on the floor, our backs will hurt for weeks. So, doggy style again. And as I'm bent over the coffee table, looking at my daughter's tricycle, wondering why it's in the living room, all of a sudden we hear the chair scrape against the floor. Oh shit, Dad's coming downstairs. So, we gotta hurry up, get on the couch, hide underneath the blankets, turn on the TV like we've been watching something. We're 40. My dad comes downstairs and just kind of says hi, looks at the TV and stands there for a couple of minutes and then, goes back upstairs, doesn't have any idea what he's just interrupted. It's like, so we're sitting on the couch and you gotta start all over again. Let's be real, sex when you're 40 is already has its challenges. When you're, been married for 15 years without having to worry about your dad walking in on you. You know all your spouse's gross habits, you don't feel as sexy. I recently had an experience where my mindset about my sexuality was a little questioned. I guess sexuality wasn't the right way to say that, but I kind of thought about myself in a different way when it comes to sex. So my daughter and I like to take walks a lot of places, and we walk to the park or the grocery store, and sometimes she likes to race. And every time we have to race, I sit there and think about how uncomfortable it is for me to run in public without a sports bra. And especially it's uncomfortable when you're running through the grocery store parking lot and you're mockingly catcalled by a car full of teenage boys. Ooh, yeah! Oh. So in that moment, I felt a lot of things. A little pride, because hey, at least they noticed. Humor, because I am a comedian, but mostly just embarrassment and confusion. Am I a MILF? I don't know. Were they making fun of me? I don't know. So, that was your cue, by the way. So, anyway, so it takes a little while to, sorry, my dad was texting me, and he's watching my child right now, so I definitely want to check on that, right? After everything I just told you. Everything's fine, just so you know. So when I was a teenager, I used to make fun of my mom because she had really saggy boobs. They were like flat as pancakes, and they rested on her belly, like rested. She hated wearing a bra. Well, karma's a bitch, because right now, my nipple's right here, but if I wasn't wearing a bra, it'd be right about here. My husband tells me that I look like one of those African women on National Geographic. Boobs gigantic, hanging all over the place. Thanks, man. And I hate wearing bras too. I don't care who's at my house. I take it off immediately. I will put on a robe or a sweatshirt to try to hide the fact that I'm not wearing a bra, but my husband says it doesn't matter. Everyone knows you're not wearing a bra. Sorry, it's my house. Sorry to feel uncomfortable. My husband also tells me that I have pepperoni nipples, which I didn't know was a thing until he told me. So, thanks, dear. A few weeks ago, I went out into my backyard, and the deck is probably like about as high as the stage. And I kind of misjudged how far it was down to the grass. And when I stepped down, my boobs flew so high up in the air and smacked back down and made an audible clapping noise that my husband heard from inside the house. That's what I'm dealing with. And I like to say that this whole saggy boob thing started as I was closing in on 40, but it definitely started in my 20s. It's just more recently they've gotten a little bit more pillowy, So when my husband and I are in the spooning sex position, he kind of has to gather some boob up to get a real hold on it, But it's hard, it's hard to feel attractive and to stay sexy when you're 40 years old, you've been married for, 15 years, you got kids and everything. I mean, we only have one, but we still have a kid. And, I've been known to wear lingerie from time to time. And I'm sure as I stand before you in my Carhartt sweatshirt, you guys are thinking, yeah, she's got some lingerie. I have one thong. I've had it for 15 years. And I wear it about once a year for 15 minutes for my husband because I love him. I never really understood the whole wearing the thong for like an everyday undergarment. Like I asked somebody once, like, why do people do that? And they're like, oh, because you don't want people to see your underwear line. It's like, so you want people to think you don't wear underwear? That's fucking disgusting. I want people to know that I wear underwear, so I will just continue to wear normal underwear. The last time I wore the thong, my husband asked me if it hurt to wear it. And I was like, really confused. Like, if it hurt, don't you think I would have said something in the past 15 years that I've had it, But as I looked down and saw the side strings sinking into my hips like a busted Pillsbury biscuit can. Oh, that's why he's asking. I get it now, so I guess I need to get a new thong. So, long story short, if you guys see me running around town with my daughter, just don't say anything. Just leave me alone. Or you can just scream MILF, and then I'll just tell my daughter you said milk. So. All right, that's it for me, guys. Thank you.